Greetings, Commanders! Today we're talking about how to play Ark of War or any cell phone game on a PC. A lot of you notice I always film on PC. I didn't used to, but I use an app called Nox Player. There is another one called BlueStacks. I hear it works quite good. I like Nox Player. I'm comfortable with it. I'm familiar with it. I can rely on it. There's not a lot of annoying ads, which is a big deal for me. So today we're going to talk about downloading it, getting the app itself, and then setting up your account and all that stuff, and then maybe running macros, but that's a whole different video. Anyway, first thing you want to do is obviously go get Windows. Make sure you have your laptop or your PC updated with Windows Update, and then go over to Google or whatever search engine you prefer and look for Nox. You can also go to www.bignox.com. You could download Nox Player here. Check in the description of this video. I'll send a link right to this website. There are multiple mirrors for Nox. I don't know if they're all safe. I know this one is safe, so use this one. You'll download Nox, and it's a pretty big file. So once it's downloading, you can sit around, twiddle your thumbs, or you may as well go back to Google and search for Ark of War APK. An APK file is an app file. Ark of War is the name of our game. Search here, and the number one should be apkpure.com. I understand the text is tiny, so I'll put it over here. So from here, you download the game for free. Usually, whenever the game updates, the emulator Nox will not have the update right away, or sometimes it doesn't let you download it just for reasons. It might be what version of an emulator you're running. But you can always just download it here. They usually have it instantly. It'll go to your downloads folder, and then from there you can drag and drop it directly into Nox. So it'll download, you'll go to your downloads folder, and then you'll drop it right in. You'll just drop it right into Nox, and it'll pick it up. At that point, you'll have Ark of War, but you won't have your account linked. You're still not going to be logged in on your Gmail or your Facebook. At this point, you'll launch Nox Player, right? Make sure it's installed. Nox Player may not run that well on your PC or laptop, depending on the performance of your CPU or your video card. There's a couple things you can do here. You can go into a lot of in-depth stuff if you really want, but as a general rule, just make sure that you go to advanced settings, set your performance settings to high, so 4 core, and I think 3 gigs or 4 gigs is max. And then I personally run a 1920 by 1080 for filming purposes. I've actually found that I get the best performance as well here, not because of resolution, but something to do with, I don't know, maybe the emulator likes being a 1920 by 1080, maybe because that's the game's native resolution. But if you're having trouble and it's really laggy, and I've had issues in the past on different PCs or laptops, try the different resolutions. Less resolution should be less performance needs. I personally run DirectX instead of OpenGL because I rely on my video card to do a lot of the work, and I run at 60 FPS. 30 FPS should be easier, but try whatever works for you. Also, your CPU may need to have virtualization technology enabled. That's a thing in BIOS. If you're not comfortable with BIOS in your CPU on your computer, it's really not that hard. Usually you just tap delete when your computer's starting. You go to advanced settings and you turn on CPU virtualization. Just enable it and save settings. If you're not sure how to do that, check with your motherboard manufacturer. They usually have an 800 number you can call it, or you can just Google it. Someone's probably put a tutorial up for it. At that point, now you're ready to play Ark of War, but you need to link your account. So you go to Tools, go to Settings, and then choose Accounts. Right here, Personnel, Accounts. I run Android on this emulator. I don't know if you can run iOS, but you don't need to. iOS accounts also will work here if they're linked to Gmail or Facebook. So click on Accounts, and then just choose Add Account. Remember, you can only have a Google or a Facebook account, right? So Facebook, you don't need to add the account. You can just open up Ark of War and enter your Facebook credentials right there, and it'll save it. But if you want to add your Google account, you just go here, add Google, and then you sign in. It'll ask you to verify it depending on how you have your Google set up. But then at that point, the emulator is approved to have access to that account. Limited approval as well, so it's not stealing everything. But then at that point, you launch Ark of War, and then you are in control. There's a lot of different things you can do with the emulator, okay? That's how to install, that's how to set it up. That should probably be the end of this video. Everyone likes quick 3-5 minute videos, but here's a couple features I think are most important. One, you can shake it. Not very useful for Ark of War, very useful for Sky Kingdoms because that's how you get your resources. You can full screen it by touching these things on the side. I didn't know about these things for so long. There's a little 3 button here, right? You can open that up. And these just gives you options. This one locks your mouse so it doesn't leave the screen. right? So it doesn't, like if you're in the middle of a battle, you don't want your mouse going all over your computer. This will lock it in place. This one turns it portrait to landscape mode. I accidentally do this all the time. I don't like it. Let's see, what else is there? The most important one is probably the macro creator, and of course there's volume too. Full screen, and then the macro creator. So I'll give you guys a brief tutorial on the macro creator. It is arguably cheating, so just be careful if you're going to use this. I would be doing a disservice to the community if I pretended like everyone wasn't doing it on cell phones, tablets, and computers as well. You can get an emulator for a cell phone or a tablet. All you're doing is clicking to build rangers, right? The emulator can be used, the macros can be used for a lot of different things. Most people should just use them for ranger building. It's a broken mechanic, the fact that they can be massacred. It takes forever to build rangers. I mean, as far as cheating's concerned, I think it's the most juvenile cheating. So that's the Nox player. If you are having trouble with your Nox player and you are having performance issues, definitely check a different YouTube video on that. Enable your virtualization. Enable your OpenGL if you have a good computer. But there it is. There you go. Interact in the comments below if I missed anything, and we'll see you on the next one.